I'm standing in front of what used to be Karen Mitchell's house in Pineview Meadows, a quiet suburb just outside Portland, Oregon. The "For Sale" sign has been up for nearly 7 months, its edges curling in the damp Pacific Northwest air. The asking price has plummeted 40% below market value, but no one wants to touch the place. It's not just a house, Anna Marie, it's a ghost story, a monument to the woman who once ruled this neighborhood like a dictator. The mailbox still reads 319, but Karen's name is long gone, erased along with her reputation, her career, and her freedom. It's been 9 months since Pineview Meadows dissolved its HOA, a casualty of what the local paper dubbed the ugliest community scandal in state history. Walking through the community center, I can still see the faint scratches on the hardwood where Karen's chair skidded as she bolted from the room, cameras flashing in her wake. The meeting hall, once her stage for wielding petty power, now sits abandoned, dust settling over the dreams she had of controlling this corner of suburbia. People ask if I regret what happened. The answer's not as clean as they'd like. Karen used to warn me I was messing with the wrong person. Turns out, she was the one who didn't know what she was up against. My wife, Sarah, is home now, recovering, but her old desk chair in our garage office, I can't bring myself to sit in it. It all started 2 years ago, in the spring of 2023, over something as mundane as parking rules and HOA guidelines about community aesthetics. Who could have guessed a fight over where our clients parked would spiral into this? Sarah and I run a small bookkeeping business out of our garage in Pineview Meadows. Nothing glamorous, just helping local shop owners and freelancers with their taxes and payroll. Sarah crunches numbers. I handle compliance and regulations. We've lived here for 4 years, paying our $200 monthly HOA dues without complaint, thinking we'd found the perfect place to settle. Quiet streets, neat lawns, a community that seemed to hum along smoothly. Trouble started when clients began parking on the street during their appointment short visits, maybe an hour or two, to drop off receipts or sign paperwork. Karen Mitchell, the HOA president, decided this violated some vague rule about neighborhood character. She sent us a letter claiming our clients' cars were tanking property values. When I dug into city ordinances, I found something curious. Public streets weren't under HOA control. Karen was making up rules she had no right to enforce. Karen was 47, with sharp blonde highlights and a signature green scarf she wore to every meeting like a badge of authority. She showed up at our door with a clipboard and a tape measure, acting like she was running a sting operation. "Mr. Thompson," she said, voice clipped, "your clients are ruining this neighborhood's charm. It's my job to protect our property values." When I pointed out that street parking was city jurisdiction, she brushed me off. "I don't care about your legal nonsense. This is my community, and I say what goes." Her campaign against us escalated fast. Karen hired a towing company owned by her brother-in-law. I later learned to snatch cars parked longer than 2 hours. Clients started getting frantic calls about impounded vehicles, and our business took a hit. When I emailed her, citing city laws and demanding she stop, her reply was venomous. "Don't play lawyer with me, Mr. Thompson. I've run this place for a decade, and I know how to handle people like you." Things got uglier when Karen hired a private security firm to patrol our street. These goons interrogated clients, demanding IDs and claiming they were sniffing out suspicious activity. One day, they cornered Mrs. Chun, a 70-year-old widow who came to us for help with her late husband's taxes. They scared her so badly she broke down in tears. Sarah saw it happen and tried to calm her, apologizing for the harassment. Karen caught wind of it and confronted Sarah directly. "Your wife needs to know her place," she told me later. "Some people don't belong in a community like this." Our business revenue tanked 40% in 3 months as clients stopped coming, scared off by the intimidation. Sarah suggested moving the business, but our mortgage was tied to the house, and relocating would have bankrupted us. This wasn't about parking, Anna Marie, it was about whether one woman could bully us out of our home. I noticed Karen's security team snapping photos of license plates and running background checks. Clients got strange calls from concerned relatives about suspicious activity. The breaking point came when Sarah found a GPS tracker on her car. Karen's notebook, always clutched to her chest, was stuffed with photos of our clients, their schedules, and personal details she'd dug up illegally. Karen filed false reports with the city, the IRS, and the state, trying to bury us in red tape. Sarah stopped sleeping, jumping at every knock on the door. Clients canceled, calling us that shady operation. The stress wrecked Sarah's health, but she kept working, trying to hold our lives together. I should have seen what was coming. I should have known Karen would go too far. It was a rainy Tuesday in October 2023, 3:15 p.m. I was across town with a client when it all fell apart. Sarah was alone in the office, finishing tax forms for Mrs. Lopez, who'd stopped by to pick up her returns. Karen's security team spotted the visit and called her. Within minutes, Karen was on the phone with 911, spinning a lie that would change everything. "I'm reporting suspicious activity at the Thompson residence," she said. "Strange people coming and going, cash changing hands, packages. I think they're running drugs or laundering money." The dispatcher sent 2 patrol cars for a welfare check. Sarah, wearing noise-canceling headphones, didn't hear the officers approach. The office door was locked automatically, and when the cops couldn't get in, they got jumpy. Through the window, they saw Sarah moving papers, oblivious to their shouts. In 10 seconds, everything shattered. An officer yelled for her to show her hands. Sarah, startled, turned with a folder in hand. One cop mistook it for a weapon and fired 2 shots through the glass. The first hit Sarah's shoulder, the second smashed a filing cabinet. "Mrs. Lopez screamed, calling 911 as Sarah collapsed, bleeding out. I got the call an hour later, stuck in traffic. "Mr. Thompson, your wife's been shot. She's in surgery at St. Mary's." The words didn't compute. We're tax preparers, not criminals. But as I sped to the hospital, it clicked. Karen's lies had turned the police into her weapon, and Sarah paid the price. The surgery lasted 7 hours. The bullet fractured Sarah's shoulder and lodged near her spine. Doctors induced a coma to control brain swelling. "If she wakes up," the surgeon said, "we won't know the damage for weeks." Meanwhile, Karen slept soundly in her pristine home, her green scarves neatly folded. The police investigation was a no charges, just protocol followed and good faith reporting. Karen even showed up at the hospital, playing concerned neighbor. "I never meant for anyone to get hurt," she told a nurse, smirking as she left. I saw it on the security footage. Sitting by Sarah's bed, listening to the ventilator, something broke in me. Before Pineview Meadows, I'd spent 15 years as a compliance officer in Seattle, handling police misconduct and civil rights cases. I'd left that life, burned out by its brutality, for a quiet, suburban existence. But Karen had miscalculated. She thought she was bullying a nobody. She didn't know she'd targeted the wife of someone who could dismantle her world with precision. While Sarah lay in a coma, I attended HOA meetings, posing as a concerned resident. Karen bragged about cleaning up crime, oblivious that I was studying her. I uncovered years of violations, unpublished meeting minutes, unapproved contractor payments, and a depleted reserve fund $92,000 down to $19,000, funneled to her brother-in-law's security firm. Neighbors shared their own stories. Mrs. Hayes, fined for her grandson's skateboard. The Patel family, harassed for their kids' soccer games. Mr. Rivera, a landscaper, forced to pay Karen 20% kickbacks. Most damning, Mrs. Lopez was ready to testify about Karen's 911 call deliberate lie meant to harm Sarah. My research exposed Karen's history, a suspended real estate license, years of false police reports against dissenters. I requested a state audit. Karen stonewalled, another violation. I filed complaints with the Attorney General and hired a civil rights lawyer. Karen fought back, doubling security around the hospital, spreading rumors that Sarah was faking her injuries, even trying to foreclose on our home for unpaid HOA fees she'd jacked up illegally. But her fatal mistake came in the hospital parking lot. "Your wife got what she deserved," she hissed, close enough for me to smell her cloying perfume. "Keep pushing, and you're next." She didn't know I'd been recording every word. I lured Karen to a meeting in an old office building owned by a former client, claiming I wanted to settle. She arrived with 2 guards, expecting to strong-arm me. Instead, I locked her in a soundproof conference room. For 18 hours, I laid out her crimes. Bank records, emails, witness statements. "Confess on camera, or the feds get this tomorrow," I said, holding cable ties. "You made my wife powerless. Now it's your turn. Karen cracked, confessing to kickbacks, fund misuse, and orchestrating the false 911 call to get rid of us. She admitted telling security to escalate confrontations, hoping someone would shoot. I recorded it all, gave her 48 hours to liquidate assets for restitution, and tracked her with a legal wiretap and GPS. The HOA meeting in March 2024 was a spectacle. 72 residents, a local news crew, and my old Seattle lawyer in the back. Karen tried to control the narrative, but I presented the evidence. $51,000 in undocumented payments, discriminatory citations targeting minority families, and her recorded confession. Residents erupted. Mrs. Hayes called out Karen's theft. Mr. Rivera exposed her kickbacks. The state announced investigations. The Fair Housing Authority filed charges. Karen's outburst, "You outsiders are ruining this place," sealed her fate, broadcast live. The HOA was dissolved by a 55-7 vote. Karen fled, but her house sold at a $220,000 loss to a young black couple who planted a pride flag out front. Property values rose without the HOA's chokehold. Sarah woke up during Karen's trial in July 2024, her first words haunting, "What did you do while I was gone?" She saw the news of Karen's arrest for conspiracy and civil rights violations. "I don't recognize you anymore," she said, her eyes searching mine. Karen got 4 years in prison, lost her license, and paid $180,000 in restitution. Her security firm collapsed. 2 cops were disciplined. But Sarah's shoulder is permanently damaged, and she flinches at loud noises. We moved our business downtown, away from the memories. Pineview Meadows is freer now. Kids play, gardens bloom, but I'm haunted. Did I become the monster I fought? Sarah's words linger. Justice without mercy is just revenge. I won, but at what cost? Did I destroy Karen to save Sarah, or did I lose myself in the process? What would you have done in my place? Could you forgive someone who nearly killed your loved one, or would you burn their world down too? Comment below, share your thoughts, and subscribe for more stories that make you question where justice ends and vengeance begins.